Easy. How's everybody doing? So I've kind of been giving a bit of thought to programming recently, and whether we kind of understand it or not, we're always being programmed. So there's something called neuro-linguistic programming, and that's kind of about mapping and programming yourself for for what you want to affect or what you want to achieve, and I found it to be very, very effective in the past. And then it kind of got me thinking. It got me thinking about how we're programmed from a very young age. So we're programmed to go to school, and before that we're programmed by parents, or guardians, whether that's positive or negatively. And that's kind of how you walk, how you talk, what you eat. Do you have manners? Do you have respect? And is it kind of instilled in you, or is it given? And they're kind of little things. And then I've kind of thought about when we go to school, whether it's a Catholic school or an alternative school or a Church of England school. Some of the programming I received in school didn't do me any favours whatsoever. It was quite negative programming. And then the influences throughout your life, how they program you. So I spent a lot of time with my granddad out in places like this, and that's kind of why I know that nature kind of heals. Do you know what I mean? And my granddad used to talk to me a lot about a lot of different things, but then I kind of realised that he used to use nature to kind of program his own mind, really, or escape his own mind, depending on where he was at. And I find that now I do the same, and it's so that for me is a very, very positive influence of programming, and then it's kind of we're programmed from a young age that we have to go to school, we have to gain an education so that then we can get employment, and it's ultimately about paying into a system. And presently the system that we're operating under, there's a lot of programming going on, and the team behind the guy who turns up at 5 o'clock with an announcement, they're very, very clever, very clever. It's kind of throw back to 14 months ago, and when people are taking advice of behavioural scientists rather than actual medical or scientists, that tells you a lot about things, and it's that leads me on to the latest programming. So the latest program is the Indian coronavirus. The India, it's a variant, yeah, it's a variant. So a variant can come from anywhere, but it's kind of Indian. This is what you're hearing repeatedly, the coronavirus Indian variant. And it's subliminal programming. It is subliminal programming, and it's not a good thing, because it's kind of already, it has the effect where it starts to turn communities against each other, and it's kind of it's like puppets on strings, we're being played, that's my opinion. And it's kind of I thought a lot about it, and I thought a lot about kind of doing a video like this, because some people will be like, oh, here we go, he's off on a tangent. And I'm not getting into politics at all, because it is about programming, but it's the subtle little changes. It's a coronavirus variant, it's not a coronavirus Indian variant, because then it kind of throws it all at one section of the community, and it's something that we need to get away from. It really is. We need to be kind of pulling together as a society, and we're not. It's just becoming more and more fractioned, and it's kind of my escape is coming into places like this, because that kind of stuff doesn't exist out here. The only programming that goes on is in my own mind. you know. And I know some people switched onto it, some people aren't. Some people realise, some people don't realise, you know, but it's vitally important that we understand it for what it really is. All right, sort yourself well, find a balance. Thank you.